cake. The chocolate chip cookie cake is fantastic. I absolutely love it. My kids love it. It's a huge seller. Everyone likes it. It's kind of easy peasy. So anyone who just wants like a little something sweet, a little birthday cake, but they don't want to bring a big knife to cut like a huge layer cake, whatever. It's more on the inexpensive side, so you're not charging a huge amount of money, but it's kind of easy to make and it's super fun. I mean, everyone loved Mrs. Fields, right? Yes, I did. I know everyone did. I love Mrs. Fields. So, okay, so for my chocolate chip cookie cake, I just use my regular chocolate chip cookie recipe. I know everyone has one. Everyone tries to perfect it. I know recently in the group, we all were talking about chocolate chip cookies. So I figured this was like a perfect little segue into it. I bake mine in the chocolate chip cookie, I guess the cookie pan, so to speak. But I have baked them in regular cake pans. I've baked them in cookie sheets to make a really huge one. I've baked them in quarter sheet pans, half sheet pans, you name it, it doesn't really matter. So here's the deal. I actually, when I put my chocolate chip cookie in, I actually weighed it so I knew how much it weighed. I don't even know why I did that, but I did that. Okay, so I baked my cookie, and the number one thing you have to do with these little babies so they don't snap, because they snap and it's over. It now becomes a lovely trifle, is you wanna make sure it's completely room temperature, and I will be honest with you, they do take quite a while, so I, a lot of times, just kind of cheat and pop mine in the freezer. But once you feel you're 100%, you're completely cool. This is how I take mine out, just so I don't risk having an epic failure. I take one of these nifty little, cooling racks, prison-y things, and I flip it over it like this, and then I turn it like this. This is not genius or anything, but it's like the number one thing so that it comes out clean. I always, use parchment. I use parchment with all my cakes, but I spray my pan and then I do parchment because I'm a firm believer you work super, super hard. You don't want your cake stuck in your pan because there's nothing worse than that. So, oh, hey, Holly. Hey, Christy. All right, so once you pop the little baby out, you have her upside down, and it does make me super excited when she's baked all the way through. Then I take my cake drum. You can use any size you want. You can use a rectangle. You can use a circle. I just grabbed this one because I just did. And I put it upside down, and then I flip it again. And ta-da! Ta-da! And so there you go. The cookie cake is on. This is very exciting. I understand that was like high thrill. But I think the biggest thing I really want to make sure you guys know is you don't have to go out and get this special pan. They do sell them at like Michael's, Walmart, AC Moore. They sell them everywhere. It's actually a Wilton pan. I do have it in a heart shape for Valentine's, but like, do not let that slow you down. Bake it in whatever you have. Just watch your temperature and watch your time. And when you smush them in, like I smush completely and go all the way around to get it as flat as possible. And my biggest thing that I try my hardest is to get my edges lined up so that, you have like a whole cookie. All right, so I went ahead and I made Swiss meringue buttercream because we didn't want to listen to that because that's loud. You can use any buttercream that you use. So if you use ABC, if you use Swiss meringue, if you use Italian meringue, anything you use. I personally only use Swiss meringue, so that's what I use. All right, and I know that a lot of people have issues coloring Swiss meringue. And I know there's times that like if you put too much color, you can break it. And I know people are like curious, like waiting for it to develop, or how are they going to get to that color? I've never really had any issues. I kind of follow the motto, slow and steady wins the race. So you can always add more, but you cannot back it up. And because it is egg whites, it's sugar, it's cooked, and you've got butter in it, and you've got all these lovely components that are like married together and friends, you start adding a huge amount of liquid, you can break it. And if you break it, you can't really bring it back together. It's kind of like a really bad relationship, and you're like, this is over. That's kind of like what happens. Okay, So I know I put a picture up. I'm just gonna kind of do similar, the same cake that I did. And for that cake, I am a huge AmeriColor person. I just love it. It works well for me. It colors beautifully. It works beautifully in all mediums I do. I also do color with dust and things like that. So you can do anything that works for you. This, again, is always just what works for me. So what I personally use is the AmeriColor, the lemon yellow, the leaf green, sorry for the blob stain, and then we'll do the soft pink, which I will tell you, like the pinks, they could totally work on them, but I'm also a fan of mixing a ton of colors to get the color you want. So I just kind of put them in a bowl. I just mix my colors. If you guys have any questions, you know you can always ask. So I start little because, like I said, you can always add more, but you can't go backwards. And I find sometimes with the pinks, you can really get to the point where you're more like that mauve-y color, and you left that nice, soft, subtle little baby color, the little baby pink-ish or whatever. So as you can see, I have like a soft pink, but I'm like, you know, I'm gonna make it go more. So just add a little more color. And then for this cake, I went and I did some flowers on it. So we'll make some buttercream roses and some other little buttercream flowers and leaves. And the cookie cake, honestly, you can do anything. So I will always buttercream the border. I'll write on it. And then sometimes people want like cute images and stuff. So for that, I'll buttercream a little area, and I'll probably, if I really wanted like an edible image or a hand painted one, I'll usually do that on fondant. So I really covered the whole cake in fondant as well, but I put buttercream under it. I'm a huge believer, you gotta put the buttercream first, because no one wants to just take a whole big bite of fondant unless you're like 4, or my daughter. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that pink. And then we'll get a little lemon yellow, because who doesn't love lemon yellow? And I think that the other thing is I know a couple friends of mine have gone ahead who make sugar cookies, and they've attached the sugar cookies to the chocolate chip cookie. I think honestly, like you can't go wrong with this. So here's what I charge for mine. I'll tell you what I charge for mine. I charge $35 for my cookie. And that's just kind of like a basic cookie. And it can go, like if you want a fondant thing in the middle, like with a hand decorated logo or such, I'll add another $10 to it, you know, to do it. But these go out like all the time, and especially right now with everything going on, it's a really nice, quick little thing you can offer. You can even offer this is a good idea. You could offer a chocolate chip cookie decorating kit. So if you gave them the cookie on a board, and you gave them like 3 bags of icing ready to go, and some sprinkles for like $30 or $25, they could totally decorate their dessert for the night. Fun family activity. I think I might even do that. That's like a really good idea. But they could decorate it up. And you know, kids love them. It's my daughter's, honestly, it's like her favorite thing. She always loves it. Oh, thank you, Desiree. You want a tour of the kitchen? I'll give you a little tour. But here, you gotta go this way. So, but then don't say anything, because I'm still finishing up all of my cookie cutters, and these are my clean dishes and my dirty dishes. Don't look. And you came back. See, there you go. Okay. You really have to, for a recipe for the cookie cake, you've got to figure out whatever chocolate chip cookie recipe you do. I don't share mine, because when I tell you it took me 2 years to perfect this little puppy, it did. And so I think the chocolate chip cookie is probably one of the hardest recipes to figure out. And I know there's a ton of good ones out there. I really started from like 0, and I was like, I am gonna figure it out. All right, green. Okay, so let's talk about the little roses and stuff. So for the roses, I have a flower nail, and I cut little pieces of parchment, and this is just like a little sticky tape so that my parchment sticks. But if you don't have it, you can put a piece of fondant. You could squirt a little icing. It does get underneath, and so it kind of makes a mess. But this works, a piece of tape. I mean, really, you gotta make your life easy peasy. All right, so I'm gonna use a 104, which is, you could use a 101, a 103, a 102, a 10 anything. Well, not 10 anything, but you know what I mean. You want it to look like this. This is your flat, you're like your little rose tip. Do not look at the nails. These are like quarantine nails. Okay, so I use TMP bags. I'm gonna say this, and honestly, I do not get a TMP kickback, and I know that people were talking about issues with bags. I ordered bags to refill on Friday, and they arrived today. So they're an awesome bag, and if you are struggling with Amazon, or you're struggling in, here's my scissors, or you're struggling in general trying to get your bags delivered, I highly, highly, highly recommend TMP. I was blown away when they arrived today. So for these, I'll use a coupler, the good old coupler, the little tip, and this. All right. See? It's not my favorite. I mean, oh, I know, Desiree, like, I did perfect giving myself a little acrylic fill, and then I was like, I'm gonna take them off because I'm over it. Okay, so I fill my cups in a bag just to make my life, you know, easy. It's all about making your life easy. And you can do these things in any color, it does not matter. This is also, you know what, this is, to me, this is the time to, our orders kind of have slowed down, I guess. Well, I know mine have, dramatically. So I kind of moved over to kits. I have a ton of these going out next week because people figured it was just like the easiest little thing to do. So this was kind of like the perfect time to like kind of work on your skills, try new things. I'm gonna make some donuts tomorrow, I'll be honest with you. I also downloaded the Disneyland churros, so we may be making those tomorrow too. All right, I am left-handed. Anyone who has never watched this before, I am left-handed, so I technically do have to reverse everything anyone does. So if you're a lefty and you're struggling, to always reach out to me because it's one of the hardest things for us to have to do. So I will pipe kind of like a little blob in the middle. Again, the way I was originally taught is you should have a separate bag with like, you know, a round opening to make your nice blob, but that's like so much work. And now I have to have 2 bags and I have to clean a coupler. No, thank you. All right, so with your big tip down, you want to, just like we did, we want to go around and together. See? And then the key to this is you always want to start in the middle. Up and down. Up and down. Okay? And then you can go as big as you want. Up and down. See? Ta-da! All right, so then you could do it one of 2 ways. You could take your cute little palette knife, which is what I do because you know me, like I have no interest in waiting, and you could scoop this little pretty girl off and plop her on the cake, or the responsible thing to do is to take off your little thing, put it on a cookie sheet, and we'll pop them in the freezer for a few minutes just so they harden up. Wah, wah. We'll be like responsible bakers. Okay, we'll do a couple of these and then we're gonna write on our thing. So it definitely helps. Like I really just went and like cut a huge amount of them and I just keep them in a bag. And then I'll be honest with you, sometimes when I have leftover icing, I just practice because the trick with anything with baking, as you know, is practice is everything. So here's your blob. It's a cutie patootie blob. And see, this is your Swiss meringue. So you know you've done your Swiss meringue correctly if you can do the Dairy Queen dip. If it is falling off, your Swiss meringue is too loose. It's either too warm or it's too cold and you're at that soupy phase, but you should be able to turn it upside down just like you had yourself some good old-fashioned Crisco in it. All right. So you want to go make your first loop around. And then you're gonna start in the middle. Oh, you always wanna start and you wanna overlap your, opening. So I'm gonna start here, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna go down. And then I'm gonna start not at the edge of this petal, I'm gonna start over here so she encompasses her. Up and down. That was actually gorgeous. Okay. Up and down. You always want to come back down, all right? So because the cake isn't massive, and because my squares are little, I like little roses. I'm not gonna make massive ones. You can also make some buds. So let's make some buds. And then I'll also show you how I am like really, really bad, and I'll put it straight on. So here's the round. So I'm only gonna go up and down, and that's all I'm gonna do because I just want like a little bud because she'll be like a cute little filler in a few areas. So I'm gonna go a couple more times just so you can see it because I feel like that's how I learn. Like you gotta see it again and again and again to get it. And once you get it, you're golden. It's like riding a bike. You will never forget. All right, so we'll make our little blob. And we will go around like it's like a little bud. I don't even know what I should call that, but like a little bud. Okay, so up and down. See, look how pretty. She's so pretty. Okay, so those will be my responsible flowers, like responsible. And I'm gonna put these ones in the freezer, and then we're gonna write on this cake and decorate, and then we'll do the irresponsible flowers. So then you can see the difference of the struggle versus like the niceness, I guess you could say. Because I always prefer a little struggle. Because that's just me. Like, you know, why make it super easy when you could just struggle? Okay, so we have our cute little cake right here, and write in yellow because I feel like that's kind of cute. So I'll fill my bag with yellow. I won't use a coupler or a tip for this. And then we're gonna do the leaves, and I'll show you how to cut your bag so you don't have to use a coupler or a tip. Like I don't have anything against them, but you know, man, if you can like ease up on the dishes, I am all about easing up on the dishes because I just personally would like someone to come and just do my dishes. If anyone wants to come do my dishes. Okay, so if you're new to tipless bags, they're super, super fantastic. There is always a seam that runs right down the middle, and what you want to do is you want to smush down your icing and so you can make it flat. And you want to cut there. So because the cake, you see the size of the cake, like we don't want itty hole because then we'll have itty writing. We have to have like a good hearty hole. Always remember, less is more. You can always go back for a little bit more if you want. So I made a hole, and then I'll say to myself, am I happy with this hole? And I'll squirt some. And then I say to myself, let's go a little bit more because this is a hearty cake. And I will tell you, it can be a total pain in the butt to write on because remember, it's a chocolate chip cookie cake, so it's not a flat surface. It's wonky and bumpily. And so I will usually kind of go around and being like, all right, this seems to be like the flattest area right here. So, I mean, you're gonna see me write upside down, but so when I write, I just make sure it's no different than if I write in buttercream or if I write in royal icing. I will gently push down so that my icing connects to the product, the cookie, and then I will gently pull, but I'm not dragging my bag along the cake. I'm lifting gently, and then when I get to the end point of where I want to stop, I'll bring it back down. But I'm not like, woo! So I'll bring it in so that you can see a little bit better. So here you go. but I will kind of connect down and then I will push back down. Were you in there? Okay, yeah. All right. And then I will be really honest with you. I have a hard time talking and writing at the same time. But I'm just going to write happy spring because happy quarantine would take so long to write. Yes. And because I know that my flowers, I want to have some flowers over here, I'm going to kind of leave this to the left and not have it perfectly centered, but that's completely on purpose. If you want to make sure that you're 100% centered, you can find your center point. You can say that the first P is the middle of the letters. So you could put your P dead center, and then you could spell happy this way and happy this way, and now your happy is centered. So it's kind of like a little nifty trick. All right, so I'm saying spring, okay. And I find that my handwriting on a cake is kind of similar to my handwriting. But you also notice I'm holding the bag. So I'm not just one-handed, like I anchor myself, because I find if I don't, then this hand, she'd go all nuts. Like she'd be all shaky. So I will always anchor myself. I know some people hold their wrist. I just have always instinctively held the bag. I do not know why. On a smaller cookie or a smaller cake area that I've written on, I will, I'll hold my hand. Okay. So happy spring. And then let's go get these little flowers because they've had enough time that they just kind of firmed up a bit so they're not mushy. But we'll do our irresponsible ones also. Yeah, see, I can touch them. It does not take long at all to get these little beauties all. Okay, so I have this cute little palette knife. It came from the art section at, I think, Michael's or AC Moore. It's called a Nicole 1, but it's this cute little shape. You can do anything you want. I just found that for flowers, it kind of, and because I know what I'm gonna do, I know that I am going to be adding leaves and all this other stuff. I'm not worried about putting a blob of icing first to secure it. If you were just putting down a flower that was slightly frozen-ish, I would say put a little dot just so she can adhere to something. But because I also never know if I need to slightly move it over, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. So there you go. But and I'm gonna do the other ones that are not for, like we're gonna make them fresh and I'm gonna put them right on, and then you're gonna watch the struggle. The struggle will be real because these things will flop everywhere and I'll go, but notice how like happily these little babies go down. Like they're like very, very, very friendly. Okay. And then this cute little bud who fell over. But like, I'm like serious. Like, look, you can honestly, it's been in the freezer just that amount of time and I could pick it up. So it's probably smart to do that. When I made the cake the other day, I literally was like, they were coming in 10 minutes and I was like, oh, I better just throw some flowers on. All right. I'll just reuse these and then we'll do these again. So I'm gonna go up here. Let me move this over so you can see. And then, so we'll do this one more time. Well, we'll do a couple more. And then you can see the difference of being a good girl or boy and being bad. So don't yell at me because I'm warning you now. You just saw how easy that was. I'm warning you, the struggle will be real all of a sudden. So you have to like, balance it, and you have to, I had to play with it more. I had to wiggle it off and things like that. All right, we'll do a couple more just because I want you to have like a fully finished cake. And we got nowhere to be. Well, I mean, I don't know if you do. All right, so here we go again. just so you can fully see. Okay. And up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Ooh, she's so pretty. Okay, we'll plop her on like that. And then we'll do these, we're gonna do the leaves. And so I do everything on the inside of the cake. Oh, see, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, so I do everything on the inside of the cake first. So, okay, don't forget you're supposed to like secure the cookie. I also don't lift her up, but I would recommend squirting. If I'm gonna keep lifting her up to show you, I'll secure her. But snaps to me on that catching, right? Okay. So, are you ready? That was entertaining as all get up. All right, let's do all of our other, so now we have this one, and we're gonna do the other flowers also. So you can, straight on here, I like to go, I forget what the name of this flower is, but I'm literally just kind of circling it around. It's kind of like a, I don't even know what you would call it, like a peony-ish, but I will do them straight on, and you're really just, you're going out and you're going back in. I'll show you on here so that you can see it on the flower nail. So you want to take your fat side down and you want to go out and back. And then you want to go out and back. And you're angling out at a good 45-degree angle. These are also, you can do these on your papers and freeze them. See? But because I'm just doing like half ones, and because I didn't want to make you stay for all of it, we'll do that. So you can also do it like this and have them go around, and then we're going to come back with our leaves. And we'll have one more right here. Okay. Ta-da! Alrighty. So now let's do the green one. Let me grab one more back. All right, so to do the leaves, you have your good old-fashioned leaf tip. Daffodil. Maybe it's a daffodil. Okay, you have your good old-fashioned leaf tip, but so you can totally use that. But let's say you don't have a leaf tip at home and you're like, oh, what do I do? You can cut your bag in the same shape. So let's cut our bag. We'll put all this in, and then we'll merge it all together. Okay. So to cut your bag, here's your tip. It's the same thing. So you're gonna cut your angle down. You're gonna cut it just like the tip does, where you're gonna cut in this way, and then you're gonna cut this way. And we'll show you on the back of the spoon. Let's make it bigger. Oh no, that's good. Okay, so we will add our little cute little leaves. And just go around and around. They're so cute. Yay! Look at that. I mean, you can do anything you want to do with it, seriously. It is super, super fun. But they're so cute. And then we can add more flowers. Oh, it's like, I don't know why. Here we go. All right, let me add one more rose. So we'll add another rose, and then we'll do the border. And we're just going up and down. We'll go around again. Oh my gosh, you're so darling. You're so darling. But like seriously, as you can see, there you go. Got him in there. All right, so to do the border, I mean, sometimes I just do white, sometimes I do everything. It doesn't make a difference, and you can also merge all your colors together. So that way you have, if you want to have everything, you can have a little bit of everything in your border. I like this tip. Sometimes I also do like a star tip. This one is a 1M. I think the border fluffy, it's always a cute little thing to have. It's cute, it's fun. So I will take my white, because I do like some white with it, and I will put my white in. There you go. And then I will cut my bag for my yellow. And I will do my yellow. And I will cut my bag for my green. And you can also put all of these in, you know, at the same time. You can cut your bags, you can roll them, you can do whatever you want to do. But a lot of times, there we go. Okay, you ready? And then I think it just adds something. It's just fun. It's different. It's pretty. You look all fancy that you got all your colors. You can cut colors and you can roll them. I always like just squirting everything in because personally, I just like the more randomness of it. And I like how the colors go and they are more inlaid on each other. And so that's just how I always did it. And as you see, it was no big deal. I just squirted out a first little bit of it because I didn't put them all in at the exact same time. But that's it. And you're just kind of doing a cute little ribbon edge up and down. And it's springy. And it's fun. And of course, it's more than anything, it's delicious. So I probably can do, I'm not leaning the cake anymore. I probably can do, there you go. You can see. I can probably do 3 cookie cakes on a whole batch of Swiss Meringue buttercream. Probably 4. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Yeah, so it's definitely works well. It's quick, it's easy. I mean, honestly, if I wasn't talking to you, I can decorate the whole thing in less than 15 minutes. So they're in and they're out. I used, for the edge, I used a 1M tip. So you can use a star tip, you can use, I mean, you can use really any tip that you want. This tip just happened to be a 1M. I like it because it's a little ribbonier. If your icing is super, super thick, it will have a hard time coming out of it because it's more of a closed edge to give you that ribbon. So I think some of the American buttercreams might have more of an issue, but you should try it. Like, always try everything. You never know what works best. And above everything, it's fun, it's easy. You could do it with the kids if you wanted to. You could whip it up easy, quick, looks like you spent hours on it, and it's fast and it's fun. And the decorating bags I use are TMPs, which is Truly Madly Plastics, and they make bags and awesome, awesome cookie cutters. So highly recommend them. I love them. I use them for years, and I just fell in love with the bag. It's thinner and it's grippier, and I really don't have blowouts with them the way that I used to with Masters when I used to buy those. Hey, Diane. All right, I have had a super fun time, as always. I think that the thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna have some Monday meetups. I think Mondays are super quiet for me. I'm closed on Mondays, so it works out well. I put it in just a regular cake box, Melanie. So it's really just based on the board that I use. Because this board just happens to be a 16-inch, it would go into a 16-inch box. So I am a kind of a person who has a ton of cake boxes and stuff. So I just try to repurpose all my boxes. So if I already have 16 or 14 inch, even if it's too tall for it, I don't care. I still put it in it, or else I would end up having like 4 million size boxes, and then only very specific items can fit in it. But I get all my boxes from BRP. And they ship fast too, in case you need it. So I love everyone. Have a great, great week, and I will see you next Monday for our meetup. I'm super excited. Try your cookie cake. I think you'll love it.